Church in Karen was marked by profound sorrow and reflection. Leaders and relatives alike honored the lives of those who passed away suddenly, expressing condolences and sharing stories of their legacy. Attendees described the gathering as a moment to unite in grief and celebrate the contributions of the departed to the nation.
You were my beginning, was still new and pure. Losing you feels like losing the music of my youth.
To our children, your father loved you more than words could ever express. He was proud of each one of you and always spoke about your future with hope and excitement.
I think it is barely 1 year since he worked for Mheshimiwa, because he finished the internship with the county government of Bomet, and that is from there when he got the work with Mheshimiwa to be his camera person.
It is so difficult to accept that you are no longer here with us. You are the light of my family, the strength of our family.
He is the one who's alive for about 30 minutes, but when he was interrogated, he only asked a question. He said, "Where is Mheshimiwa?"
He did his work with the zeal and the determination of a professional pilot.
Through the card of his academic achievements all over, we actually underrated his intellect and his capabilities. It's until you sit down with him and engage him that you realize that he had a certain depth in terms of intellect, knowledge.
Many times I go to South Rift for functions when our MPs invite us. Mukiwa kwa function, unasikia commotion. Unauliza what is happening, unasema Johanna is coming. And he will arrive and change the mood of the meeting. That was Johanna.
The country has lost a lawmaker, a representative of the people, and a lawyer.
Right, of course, Johanna Ngeno is actually scheduled to be laid to rest on Friday. All right, we shall be keeping tabs with that particular funeral proceedings, and of course we shall be bringing you in a subsequent bulletins later on in those particular bulletins that particular day. All right, moving on, officers in the police service and the National Youth Service, that is NYS, are set to benefit from a significant salary boost, with even the lowest ranked police officer now earning 57,700 Kenya shillings per month. Now the pay hike, effective retroactively from July 2024, marks a double increase and is expected to improve staff welfare and motivation across both security and youth service departments. All right, of course, the lowest ranked police officers actually, will be paid 57,700 Kenya shillings from 38,975 Kenya shillings. And of course, police who graduates from Kiganjo will be paid 29,000 Kenya shillings, 296 from 20,000 Kenya shillings, 390, and the highest ranked will be paid from 584,903 between there and 301,548, from 292,765 to 576,120. All right, those are the new salary. The salary pays from between 57,000, who is the lowest, to 584,903, the highest. All right, moving on, the High Court in Nairobi has quashed criminal charges against Judge Natembea, citing unconstitutional conduct by investigators during his arrest and subsequent investigations. In a judgment delivered at the Milimani Law Courts, Justice Bahati Munguye ruled that the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, that is the EACC, violated the governor's constitutional rights by denying him access to his lawyers at the time of his arrest on May 20th of 2025. The court found that this action infringed on his right to legal representation and fair trial guarantees. Now, the judge further held that the manner in which investigators obtained Natembea's M-Pesa statements was illegal and procedurally flawed. And according to the ruling, the process used to access his financial records failed to meet constitutional and statutory requirements. Justice Macharia declared that instituting the anti-corruption case amounted to an abuse of court process. He barred both the EACC and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, that is the ODPP, from proceeding with the prosecution based on the same set of facts. All right, now let's talk matters politics. And the Orange Democratic Movement, that is ODM, has clarified that there were no objections to submitting a report on the implementation of its 10-point agenda by March 7th of 2026. The party said that the process is ongoing and requires more time to be completed properly. ODM leaders further announced plans to hold a joint meeting with lawmakers from the ruling United Democratic Alliance, that is UDA, next week to discuss the matter further.
The agenda was discussing the NDC, but we also looked at the issue of the 10-point agenda and its implementation, and we have agreed that next week on Tuesday there will be a joint PG of Kenya Kwanza and ODM, who are the signatories of the 10-point agenda, and a progress report will be provided by the Coin 10 team led by Dr. Agnes Zani.
That report is drafted so clearly that TORs just says that the report again will be given on the 7th of March, among other reports. It doesn't say at any date that is the last of all the reports. This has been a consultative process with the principals as has been carved.
At the same time, some member of County Assembly representatives affiliated with the Azimio Coalition in Nairobi, led by County Majority Leader Peter Imwotok, have rejected the plans by few lawmakers to initiate the impeachment of Governor Johnson Sakaja. The dispute emerged after Sakaja signed a cooperation agreement to align county management with the national government, prompting allegations of a secret plot to oust him. Imwotok and his supporters insisted that they will not allow any attempt to remove Sakaja from office, stressing that their commitment to ensure he completes his term.
Sisi tumekuwa na parliamentary group meeting yetu kuanzia asubuhi saa 4:30. Tumesema kwa kauli moja kama wanachama wa Azimio, tukisaidiwa na ndugu zetu wa kutoka UDA wako hapa, wale wako broad based. Tumesema sasa kwa sasa rais wetu pamoja na governor wameingia cooperation agreement ya kusaidia capital city ya Nairobi, ndani ya county ya Nairobi, bilioni 80 ya kusaidia maendeleo. Hatuwezi haribu tena na makelele. Tunaomba kwamba tupewe nafasi, gavana apewe nafasi na rais nafasi, tuone hii maendeleo ya bilioni 80 inafanana aje. Inawezekanaje tunapitisha kitu ya rais pamoja na gavana ya kusaidia wanajiji ya Nairobi, alafu kuna kikundi kingine nasema inataka kutoa huyo gavana. Kuna Kiswahili si kawaida. We will not allow the project of the governor and the president and the people of Kenya to be derailed.
All right, moving on now, let's talk matters. Healthcare doctors under the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Dentist and Pharmacist Union, that is KMPDU, led by Secretary General Davji Atela, have called off their planned strike in Mombasa's referral and training hospital, which was set to begin early this morning. Now, the decision followed a 4-hour meeting between KMPDU leaders and Mombasa County Governor Abdulsamad Sharif Nasir held at the governor's office. The discussions addressed pending issues including promotions for doctors and alleged political interference in hospital affairs. Now, both parties agreed to continue dialogue to resolve remaining challenges affecting health workers, ensuring that health services continue uninterrupted while staff concerns are addressed.
As you know, our strike with Mombasa County is to commence today at the midnight. So in the morning, we had Kamkunji with doctors to discuss the various issues that we addressed on the strike notice, that we issued last week that was lapsing tonight. Number one of the issues was the issue of promotion of doctors. We had asked the county to promote all the doctors that had not been promoted. But in the meeting now, we have agreed with the county that all the doctors that had not been promoted are going to be promoted. Discussed and agreed that the remaining 20 doctors will get their letters of promotion by 1st of July 2026. So that means that all the doctors that we presented for the county will be promoted on 1st of April and 1st of July. We also discussed the issue of doctors on contracts and have had a deliberation with the county and agreed that the county will review this particular contract and these doctors will get their letters of confirmation and or changes to permanent and pensionable terms by 1st of June 2026.
Whatever it is that has been agreed has already been agreed on. One, there was an agreement that was done in the year 2021, and that agreement had yet to be finalized. I am glad to state that even before receiving the letter, part of that agreement had already been done and dusted. It is only a few that were remaining. Some have already been given their letters, and some are the ones that are currently being.
Moving on to matters Education CS Julius Migos Ogamba has called on Vice Chancellors of public universities to begin preparations for the transition of learners under the competency-based curriculum, that is CBC, into institutions of higher learning by 2029. Speaking in Mombasa during the opening of 2026 annual conference, the Education Cabinet Secretary said more than 600 students under the new education system are expected to join universities across the country. Ogamba urged universities to put in place adequate infrastructure, academic programs, and policy frameworks that align with the evolving demands of the competency-based education model. Now, he emphasized that the shift requires strategic planning to ensure institutions are equipped to accommodate the large cohort while maintaining quality and relevance in higher education.
Not emotions. They're coming to university in 2029. My suspicion is that in 2029, since the grade 10 are now 1.1, I anticipate that you are likely to admit 600,000 of those because of the pathways. What are you going to use to admit these students to university? Is it exceeding expectation or meeting expectation? If somebody meets expectation, what does that mean? It means they are qualified to go to the next stage, isn't it? And if 600,000 of them meet expectation, what will you use to say I cannot admit them to university?
Right now, a recent systems audit of Kenya's National Police Service by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, that is the EACC, has revealed structural weaknesses, inefficiencies, and gaps that could facilitate corruption and unethical conduct. Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja and EACC Executive Director Mahmoud Ali presented the findings at the National Police Service Leadership College. Now, they emphasized the urgent need for reforms to strengthen accountability and integrity within the service. The report calls for continued collaboration between the two agencies to implement the audit's recommendations. Now, key issues include additional training for police officers and salary enhancements aimed at boosting professionalism, stability, and ethical standards across the service.
Some people accused me, and even these colleagues of mine here, that we have brought in Moyo so that some of them can be brought down. We stood our position and said no. That is not our intention. We don't want anybody to be brought down. We don't want even anybody to be investigated. All what we wanted was to be supported, assisted, and shown where we have gaps, where we have, we need some areas that needed to be adjusted. That is exactly what we were looking for.
I urge the National Police Service to establish a corruption prevention framework which entails, 1, constituting and operationalizing corruption prevention committees.
Right, moving on, the national government has announced plans to construct additional dams across the country in a bid to enhance water storage and shield farmers from the effects of unpredictable rainfall. Cabinet Secretary for Water, Sanitation and Irrigation Eric Muga said funds have been allocated through the National Infrastructure Fund to finance the dam projects, which are aimed at supporting irrigation and ensuring steady food production. Now, speaking during a recent address, the CS noted that the erratic weather patterns have increasingly affected agricultural output, making it unnecessary for the government to invest in long-term water harvesting solutions. Now, he emphasized that the expanded dam infrastructure will not only support farmers but also strengthen food security, stabilize crop yields, and promote sustainable development across the country.
Na serikali ikaona ni vyema tuache kutegemea mvua katika kilimo chetu, na sasa inaunda a funding system, a funding model. Tunaita National Infrastructure Fund. Tutengeneze mabwawa makubwa zaidi ya 50. Tutengeneze mabwawa madogo ya katikati zaidi ya 200. Tutengeneze mabwawa madogo zaidi ya 1000. Haya yote mabwawa kunaponyesha tuyatumie kuhifadhi, kuvuna na kuhifadhi maji, kwa sababu hatutaki tena kutegemea kuangalia na kutizama juu tukitafuta mawingu ndiposa tuanze kulima. Ukulima wetu uimarike, tulishe taifa. Yale madhara yanaletwa na maji mengi ya mvua yapungue, tuwe na afya kama nchi, tuwe na shibe, tunawiri. Ile pesa ambayo tunatumia kuagiza vyakula kutoka nchi za nje tusitumia wapi? Hapa. Na mkulima aache kutegemea mvua katika kulima kwake. Na huo mradi unaitwa National Infrastructure Fund. We need to do catchment conservation. Nimeona kule tunapanda miti ambayo inatumia maji mengi. We need to know riparian land. We need to know personal land. And we need to plant trees and vegetation that will conserve that spring. Sisi tumefanya catchment restoration. Ni jukumu lenu kwenda mbele mkishirikiana na county government kuhakikisha kwamba the efforts we have made, the gains we have achieved so far are not lost in the process.
Now, Machakos County Governor Wavinya Ndeti has officially begun distributing quality seeds to farmers across all 8 constituencies, a move aimed at boosting agricultural productivity and ensuring food security. Speaking during the launch at Kadana Ground in Kangundo Sub-County, Governor Wavinya assured farmers that her administration is committed to providing quality seeds for various crops, helping them achieve better yields and sustainable agriculture.
It's simple. To have a Machakos where no child goes hungry. Today, we are distributing seeds that, I've said again, resist the pest and disease. I reiterate my solemn pledge that my government will continue to invest in programs that support our farming communities.
The government has successfully raised its target, the targeted 106 billion Kenya shillings after the initial public offer IPO of Kenya Pipeline Company was oversubscribed by 105.7%. Announcing the results, Treasury Cabinet Secretary, that is John Badi, said that the strong investor response demonstrates confidence in the country's energy infrastructure and capital markets. However, he clarified that despite the oversubscription, the government will only absorb the targeted 106 billion shillings. Badi further revealed that Kenyans will retain a controlling stake of 79% in the company through government holdings, local institutions, retail investors, and KPC employees. Now, he dismissed claims that the IPO amounts to selling strategic national assets to foreign interest, maintaining that the majority ownership remains firmly in local hands.
There was a company was being given away to foreigners. Have we given this company away to foreigners? If now you are asked that question, the answer is no. We have just democratized the ownership of KPC. That is what has happened today. And that is what is going to happen. From next week now, from next week when the bell rings, you can now go and buy shares of KPC. It will be the 5th, terms of size at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. After Safaricom, after KCB, Equity, and East African EBN. Sindio? This is going to be number 5. Si mchezo. If you have money now, start doing business. And I know those people who have been criticizing KPC, now they will go at night and buy.
Still on the economic front, the Ministry of Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs has intensified efforts to position Tana River County as a major center for large-scale mineral extraction in a move expected to transform the region's economic outlook and bolster Kenya's sovereign wealth fund. And according to government surveys, Tana River hosts significant manganese deposits, particularly within the Mid-Galana geological zone. Detailed geological mapping and field investigations have confirmed structurally controlled manganese mineral, the minerals associated with fault systems in the Lali Hill area. Officials say the discovery could pave the way for increased investment in the mining sector, generate employment opportunities, and expand revenue streams for both the county and national governments.
Because, Governor, we have earmarked Tana River as one of those greatest counties with greatest opportunities in terms of mining. Sioni mimi vile mutalalamika tena mambo ya maji. If we unlock the potential in mining, I don't see how you will complain on matters energy and water and support infrastructure. And if anything, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Governor, I think if there's anything that needs you to possibly or probably put a lot of focus on today, kwenda mbele is mining. I'm telling you. Na msisema tukuambia, Governor, tuliwaita hapa Tana River hii. You said we've constituted ourselves as Tana River. If we do not do and take certain steps today, basi tutajilaumu mwenyewe. But if, like the way my Secretary Onyancha said here, that you started right, you get it right. So we are here to start it right. Tumepima sisi, tukaangalia madini Kenya iko wapi mingi, shamba kubwa, and we have categorized Tana River as one of 5 priority counties. 5 priority counties.
Mining has to happen. It has to happen because it's part of the livelihoods. We still have to take some of these things. We go and discuss at cabinet. Hawa nao waende wakakae kwa assembly, wazungumze mambo yao, tupange vikao pamoja. It is us and yourself, Waziri, so that we move forward together if we want to start right, and then we do it right. Kwa sababu ya kuepuka mambo yale mmesema. Sisi maskini wenye dhambi, uturehemu Bwana. From count.
Right, from the economic front, let's take a look on what's making headlines in the world of sports. Alright, now let's get sporty. And Nairobi United FC secured a hard-earned 1-1 draw against KCB in an intense SportPesa League clash, thanks to Benson Omale's third goal of the season, which cancelled out Boniface Omondi's early strike. The match turned even more dramatic when Bernard Jairo received a red card for handling the ball outside the box, leaving Nairobi United to finish with 10 men. Despite the numerical disadvantage, United held to unavailable points. Head coach Godfrey Odor praised his side's resilience, emphasizing the team's determination under pressure. On the other side, KCB coach Robert Matano expressed frustration over the missed opportunity to secure 3 points.
Kusema kweli nashukuru kwa hiyo alama moja. Tumecheza takriban karibu dakika 30 tukiwa na mtu mmoja nje. So nafikiria vijana wameweza kujituma, na hata unaona baada ya mechi kuna wengine wameweza kulala, wameweza kujituma zaidi na nawapatia kongole kwa hiyo point moja. Kusema kweli umesema kitu niliwaeleza tu ni waweze kutulia, na sisi tukipata nafasi tujaribu kuitumia kwa haraka, na kusema kweli almost tulikuwa tunaipata. So wamefanya vizuri. Kusema kweli Nairobi United inazidi kuonyesha kwamba wanafaa katika hii ligi. So kwa hivyo kitu tu naweza waeleza ni kwamba Nairobi United itazidi kupata points 3 kwa mechi ambazo zinakuja.
Sijaridhika sababu first of all kukua penalty kuangalia kwangu. Ya pili sisi wenyewe tumejishinda sababu tumepata chances zile. Lack of intelligence in front of the goal. Lack of desire. Somebody is a striker but he's there. He doesn't know why he's there. How can you get that free ball like from Cairo and you cannot score? You are alone. What is that? As a player, how can you call yourself a striker in front of the goal? Simple ball where you can just control the ball and pass it. It's ourselves, not about the game. Yeah, the City Stars, or Nairobi United, they played well, but also the given them advantage. The penalty which was not there completely, but we can blame ourselves. Yeah, it's obvious. Like in future, KCB, they have to do something better than this, because come and do the intelligence in our team, and chances are there, but we cannot convert because of simple thinking, calmness. No, we have to do something. You see, team like Nairobi, they have quality, but suppose one Nairobi player got that kind of chance, it's a goal. So we are lacking intelligence.
Swani Wanjala na ameishiwa kutanguliwa mapema mchezoni. Boniface Omondi.
Alright, it is exactly 30 minutes past the top of the hour. Now up to speed with those making headlines from across 47 counties, and of course as well in the world of sports. You've been watching the Midweek Reports. My name is Macharia. I was sitting in for one Geoffrey Sombo. Of course, I was joined as well with Alfred Mwangi on the sign language interpretation. Let's meet again tomorrow on the Morning Live. Alright, have yourself a lovely night. Enjoy the rest of your viewing, and as always, let's do this again when God says we do.